Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something. Do you have one of these iRobot Roombas? Did you know you have to clean it and maintain it at least once a week? In this video, I'm showing you how to maintain your robot, and all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver. So let's get to it. For starters, let's get this work area prepared. All right. Now let's go ahead and flip our robot on its back and take a look at what we need to clean. What we need to focus on is the brush, the wheel, the 4 sensors on the outer perimeter. You have your brushes in the middle, and then the container in the back. Taking a closer look, as you can see, this brush already has plenty of hair on it, and it's only been 1 week or 3 times. I only use this robot 3 times a week. If you use yours a lot more often, then I can only imagine how much hair is going to be on there, especially if you have pets. What we want to do is take our Phillips head screwdriver and take this brush off to remove the hair. If you don't know already, lefty loosey, righty tighty. You only need to spin it a couple times and pop it right off. And then we're gonna remove all the hair that's been collected on this brush. Make sure it's clean on the back. Make sure the inside where the brush rotates as well is clean. Then put it back and screw it right back on, righty tighty once again. You don't wanna over tighten this, folks. Just enough to snug, and there you go. First preventative maintenance is complete. The wheel is up next. And from time to time, the wheel will collect debris from all the vacuuming. So let's remove the wheel, place it off to the side, and then take out the wheel housing. Typically, this is going to be cleaned. You may find some pet hair right in here, but since we're clean this time, we're only going to focus on the inside here. As we take a closer look, you can already see there is some debris stuck inside underneath the wheel housing. So there's one of 2 things you can do. Take a microfiber cloth and just wipe it off, or blow it with your mouth. It won't take much. Reassembling everything is quite simple. Just pop the wheel housing back on, and then take your wheel and place it back on as well, and you will hear a snap. That's how you know you have it back on correctly. There's a little sensor here. Usually I just take a microfiber cloth and I just do a quick wipe down of it. In addition to this sensor, you want to go ahead and focus on the 4 light sensors that are on the front perimeter of your Roomba. You just want to make sure it's free of dust and debris. That's it. Don't use any chemicals. Just take a microfiber towel and wipe those sensors clean. Moving on, we're going to focus on these rollers here. This is where the main debris is collected in your Roomba, and you want to make sure these are perfectly clean. It looks great now, but let me show you. When we pop this little green tab right here and lift up, you want to pick up the rollers one at a time by just taking your index finger and pulling it up and then sliding it outwards. And we'll demonstrate that one more time on the next one. Once again, pull it up with your index finger and then slide it towards the right, and it'll come free. And as you can see, that is where the culprit lies. The hair gets trapped on the sides of the rollers. So once again, we're going to take all the hair that we find and just pull it off. And it's really as simple as that. We'll just set these rollers off to the side once more, and inside is where a lot of the debris travels, but on occasion, a lot of this debris gets left behind or it sticks onto your robot, and you just want to wipe it down with, once again, a microfiber cloth. You really don't need to be using any type of chemicals in here. I wouldn't advise spraying any type of chemicals in here. It's just simply wiping it down, and if you are doing this at least once a week, it only gets easier and easier. Nothing's going to stick to it, because you're maintaining it on a consistent basis. Reinstalling everything is a breeze. If you don't remember or you got confused which one goes back, it's really simple. They're actually color-coded. Here's your dark green and here's your light green. You also want to make sure you do have it facing the correct way. This side right here is the part that goes on the left-hand side if your robot is facing forward. You'll simply slide that on and place it right back in there. And then once again, find that smaller side, not the light gray side, but the smaller side. This one is a square. You want to line that square up, twist it around a couple times until you get it in place, and drop it in. And it's as simple as closing the latch and listening for that click. Oh yeah. Finally, we're moving on to the very last part, and that's removing the collection unit. There's a little button on the side. All you have to do is press it once, and it will eject the container. Now there's a few things that we have to do here. Number 1, you want to take your air filter off, and it just comes right off, and it will have a lot of dust. Even if you just bought a brand new one, these Roombas are awesome, and they're going to do a really good job at collecting dust. Now, Roomba recommends that you just tap this inside of a trash can just to get rid of the bigger chunks of dust and then return it back in its place. What I do is I purchase a bunch of these off of Amazon for dirt cheap and replace them every month. Next, what Roomba recommends is opening the secondary latch that's inside by pressing this button right here and opening the door. And as you can see, there's already dust falling off of there. I'll go ahead and get that cleaned up. But you want to tap this entire thing in the trash as well, because sometimes the Roomba, when it self-empties, if you have that model, a lot of this stuff doesn't come out. So you want to clean that out, and you just want to rinse this entire unit here, the one that's in my hand, with water. That's it. However, you want to make sure that you allow this to dry completely, and typically 24 hours is enough time for this entire unit to dry off. So I'm going to do that right now. Now that I've rinsed mine, what I like to do is just dry it off just to speed up the process, because it's going to be a lot easier that way, and I can trust that it will most certainly be dry within 24 hours since I've wiped off the majority of the moisture inside. And for the sake of time in the video, I'm going to go ahead and allow this to dry off camera. But once it is completely dry, all you have to do is take your filter, and in my case, I'm replacing the filter with a new one just because they're cheap and it was time to replace it. And you're going to slide it back into place and snap it on. You'll hear that click. Now make sure you do not run water through your filters. They are not meant for water. Once it's completely dry, you've replaced your filter. In order to reinstall it, make sure this piece right here, as it's shown on camera, is facing this direction, and you'll slide this little tongue and groove here. Here's the tongue, and here's the groove right over here on the right hand side. Slide your tongue and groove in place and listen for that snap. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here, and I am constantly posting videos that are going to be helpful, so be sure to stay tuned, and I will see you all in the next video.